Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 106 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, by far, I think it's pretty safe to say that one of the most mysterious characters in the Star Wars sequel trilogy has got to be Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, we do know that, of course, J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, and even Andy Serkis kept his identity and his backstory a big secret for a big and specific reason that they would save until either a future Star Wars film, being, of course, either Episode 9 or a future Star Wars movie, a part of the new and upcoming Star Wars trilogy, or another project currently in the works. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense for the character of Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, specifically, a description of Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren traveling to a place called the Dark Spire, where it's said that they are in search of the Shrines of the Sith location that holds many secrets of the ancient Sith Lords. It's explained that Kylo and his knights eventually arrive, where the Forger is said to guide them down to the very location in which they discover ancient structures and statues of the Sith. It's explained that one of which is said to be the statue of Nile Ren, who was once Snoke's master. Inside of the statue lies Snoke's true identity, which is said to be his first identity during the Old Republic era, since Snoke was described to have had multiple identities during his life. His first identity written in ancient Sith code goes by the name of Raiju Yan. It's explained that at one point in time, Snoke was a Sith just like his master Nile Ren, and that Snoke would change his identity every 100 or so years, due to changes in his philosophy and beliefs of the dark and the light side. It's explained that Snoke's real name and his first identity is written inside of the statue of Nile Ren as if it was carved with a sharp object of some kind. So, let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the name Raiju Yan, it's a very interesting name. It almost sounds like what an ancient Sith Lord would actually be called, and that's what I like about this name. So, the thing about this is that we do know that we have been talking about the character of Nile Ren for a very long time now, in case you guys did not know and are just catching up. Nile Ren is said to be the master of Supreme Leader Snoke and, of course, Darth Plagueis. So basically, this is the canon version of Plagueis' master. Now, in, of course, Legends, I believe it was Darth Trinobus or something like that, in, of course, Star Wars material, that was, of course, a part of the EU. But now they're changing that by Disney and Lucasfilm, and they're trying to do something completely different here. So, with that being said, when we look at Star Wars Episode 9, this film really is trying to deliver itself as a movie that's going to introduce many different pieces of ancient Jedi and Sith lore that is truly going to change how we view certain pieces of the Star Wars franchise. And to me, that really is very inspiring to see exactly what they're trying to do with the character of Snoke. The fact that he is indeed 800 or so years old and changed his identity every 100 or so years is a very interesting storyline, and definitely does explain as to why we actually heard a couple of different names for the character of Snoke. However, this is said to be the first and real identity of Supreme Leader Snoke, that of course being Raiju Yan. Now, like I've always said before in the past, Snoke is a character. We're going to be learning more about him in The Rise of Skywalker. We're also going to be learning more about the origins of the First Order and exactly how it really rose to power, and Disney and Lucasfilm are very excited to explain all of this in Episode 9. So, with that being said, this movie does have a lot going for it. We do know that J.J. Abrams wants to make it the darkest Star Wars film yet, and that really is going to be a big challenge and or a big task to complete in order to really make it satisfy, a lot of the fans around the world, or to have it resonate with fans around the world. They really do have to execute all of these different revelations in a perfect way on the big screen. So, the Shrines of the Sith, let's get into this a little bit. So, the Shrines of the Sith location, in case you guys did not know, it's a place that takes place underneath the surface of a world that is actually based over in the Outer Rim, underneath a large castle structure that is called the Dark Spire, a place that is the home of the Forger. The Forger is the one responsible for developing Kylo Ren's mask and the Knights of Ren's armor, and that is a very interesting side of the story of what they're really trying to explain in this film. So, as we went over before in the past, we do know that, of course, Kylo Ren based his mask design off of Darth Revan's, and that he requested it to look like Darth Revan's to the Forger, and it explains an in-universe answer as to why those helmets actually look nearly alike. So, moving on forward, this film does have a lot of Legends material that's being inserted into the current canon. We will be learning more about everything related to Kylo Ren, and of course Supreme Leader Snoke, and his first identity being of course Raiju Yan, and everything else like that. Anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one. From night to moon, we hear them moans again.